Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the Drive Files Manager add-on to get a list of all the files in your drive or in a subset of your drive or in a shared drive. So to use it, it's in extensions, it's listed as Drive Files Manager, and if you start it, it will open this sidebar. So you've got various options I'll talk you through. The first one, you've got to set the sheet up. So you can create a new sheet, or you can, if you give it a second to warm up, it'll give you a list of the sheets in your spreadsheet. So I'm going to select sheet 1. And if it's empty, it'll set it up like this. So it'll put the headings in, and I'll talk you through some of these in a second. So the blue ones, you can enter something in. The orange ones, it'll just give you some information. To start with, you've got to put a folder URL in there. So you can get that from this part of the menu, select folders. So you can select a folder using this picker. So if you want that one, you can just select it and it will put the link in there. So that goes in there. Or you can select MyDrive and it turns that into MyDrive. Or you can get a folder URL. If I copy that and paste it in there. Thumbnails are about, if you're getting images, you can decide on the size of the thumbnail you want to use. The manage file information, you can update some data, you can delete files, you can copy files and move them to a different folder. But mainly we're going to use it, so we've got to start by getting the data. So you can choose whether to include data from subfolders and whether to get image information, and then you fetch the data. So this is a relatively small folder. It's got about 30 files in it, but it's a good illustration of how it works. So the first line shows you the folder you selected, and so it gives its name. And then you've got the files that are within it and any folders that are children of that main file. It creates a path for you here as well. So this main folder is called Classroom Manager. This folder within it is called Classroom Manager Demo. So that's the path, and the files that are in that subfolder have the same path. And then you get this information, which you might not find very relevant, but you get a file ID, a URL which gives you a link to open the file, the parent folder, a link to open that parent folder, what sort of file it is, when it was created, date last modified, who by, how big a file it is, and what the extension is. And then if there are images within your folder, you'll get this lot of information. I'll show you that in more detail in a second, but I've actually got some images data. So when it retrieves that information, it's sorted it by path and put these, shaded the rows that have got a folder, that are showing as a folder. What you can also do here is get summaries, and that will create a new sheet here, and it just gives you the folder path and the structure, so it gives you a tree basically, and shows you how many files are in each subfolder. So the time it takes to retrieve it is dependent on how many files and folders you've got within that. So this is MyDrive, which has got, I'll show you in a second, it's got 33,000, no, 10, sorry, this one's got 10,000. So actually, let's look at the summaries. So it's got 9,992, so you can see the folder structure there. The reason I wanted to show you, I was on this row, was this is some of the image information. So this was a picture of somebody's feet on the beach, showing the width and height of the picture, the image rotation. I think 0 is landscape, 1 is portrait. When it was taken, what sort of camera it was. So this was an Apple iPhone. The exposure time, so this information. So it depends on what the phone is capturing when you're taking the picture. And part of that you can get the geocode information, so the latitude and longitude and the altitude. And if it's a video, you get that information. And then I've got it set up so from the latitude and longitude, it will tell you where it is. And I'm using the 3 words API to click on a link, it'll take you to a map. So that's one in Granada. What else to show you? So to update a file. So to do this file, you put a Y in there and you can run the delete option and it will delete the file. If you want to update something, you can only update these columns, whether it's the file name, the description of it, and you can specify whether it should be a starred file or not. And then you update that. So it actually does one file quite quickly, but because there are 10,000 files in here, it's checking all the rows to see if it needs to change any others, and then it tells you that it's updated those. And that's been us spinning. So I think that's everything. Any queries, you can post them on the comments at the bottom of the video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.